I send you a little link. All righty, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Joshua Grenier with NMPreps.com. We're bringing you the 2020 preview for New Mexico high school football. Today we have Aaron Ocampo from Centennial High School. The Hawks went 10-2 last year, 5-1 in district. And without further ado, we'll kind of let Aaron Ocampo, head coach Aaron Ocampo, answer the questions. So what's your focus for the 2020 Hawks this coming year?
Right now is getting to normal, hopefully at some point. It's been a unique challenge, kind of being up in the air with so many things. It's encouraging that we're going to be able to start our training here in a few weeks. Our district is allowing us to start on the 22nd after a week of training and a week of getting everything in order to get going with summer workouts. But even those workouts aren't going to look normal. We're going to be, one coach to 5 kids, and we can't use basically any equipment. But in all, I think it's important for us to get back with our kids. It's important for them to see coaches. It's important for them to work with each other. It's a step in the right direction. So we'll take what we can get.
Nice. You guys segue right into your offensive outlook for the season. I mean, you lose 3 really talented players. I mean, you lose a handful of seniors, but 3 really talented players in Jordan Mendoza, Gabe Acosta, and Aiden Trujillo. Who else are you guys going to be missing on offense this coming year? Is it going to be a transition year? Is it going to be a rebuild year?
I think every year is kind of a rebuild, regardless of if you have a lot of players back. Now, for next year, we won't have a lot of players back. We lose 4 out of our 5 starting offensive linemen. We lose both of our starting tight ends. You mentioned Jordan. We lose all but one of our top 3 receivers. And our quarterback and our running back, we lose. We feel like we have some talented kids that are coming into some of those spots, but we're obviously going to have some inexperience. And we've already missed essentially 15 practices of spring ball, or I think we slated 16 practices of spring ball that we've missed to this point. So we're going to have a lot of catch up to do whenever we can get started. And we're really not sure when we can actually get started with kind of running plays and practicing and doing that kind of thing. But I would imagine everybody's going to be in a pretty similar boat. So it's just who can do the best they can with the time they got. But I feel like we have some pretty good players coming back. We've got Karsten Ruckner, who played some slot receiver, a little bit of quarterback, a little bit of running back for us last year. He's our number 1 quarterback as of right now. We also have our JV quarterback who's going to be competing with him, named Ian Lopez, and they're both pretty talented kids and can both help us in a lot of areas on our team. And we have Isaac Gutierrez. He's a starting receiver, and he's our most experienced receiver coming back, and he's quite a good athlete, and he'll probably play a role both sides of the ball. And we have Jaden Gunn. He was our starting center last year. He'll return on the offensive line, and he could play a different spot other than center, but he was a solid player for us all last season. So those are the guys that we have coming back offensively. We have some other guys that got a chance to play when games were out of hand last year, or got some time, but we've got a lot of work to do to get those guys up to speed, ready to go.
Yeah. And okay, the other side of the ball too. What about the defense? Who are some new players coming on defense, and who are some key players to watch?
We're very solid on defense last year, and really the last 2 years, and had a lot to do with a lot of those players that were 2-year starters for us that were graduating now. So we graduated some talented kids, but we've got in our secondary, Karsten Ruckner started at free safety, and he was all state as voted on by Max Preps. He's returning, and if he's playing quarterback, his role on defense may not be quite as big, but we'll just kind of see how things play out from here to when we start the season. We also have returning Sammy Estrada. He's a linebacker, and he started most of the year for us. He had an injury where he was out for a couple of games, but he was really our vocal leader on the defense, even as a junior. I'm just a bright kid that can know the scouting report, real quick and be able to communicate everything with everybody. We also return a Will backer. He could move to the Sam spot. His name is Steven Rocha. He's a big, strong kid, and we expect some good things from him this year. But those are our main three guys returning on the defense. We also have a player named David Gomez who was slated to start for us at receiver this past season, but he broke his collarbone in the scrimmage, so he missed the entire year. But we're looking for big things from him because he's a tall, lanky, good athlete that could probably help us on both sides of the ball.
So that'll be good with all the receivers you are losing, the tight ends you're needing to replace. District Snapshot, you guys have, it's always a tough district. It looks a little different this year without Mayfield in the mix with you guys, but Las Cruces looks like they're one of the front runners in the district. How's the district? How's the new alignment, you think, playing into how you guys are going to look for this coming season?
Well, we obviously lose Mayfield. They chose to go down. They've been a real competitive team in 6A, and I think they felt like they wanted to compete with schools their size. So they went down, and we'll still get to play them, which is good. But they've always been real tough. And then Cruces obviously is pretty good. Always they've got the coach's son back at quarterback, and I'm sure that's a good that's a good feather for them in their cap this next year because he's going to be a 3-year starter. And coaches at this time, we can't really do much working with kids, but a kid on a team can do stuff with his teammates. And I'm sure that Coach Lopez's son is doing some things to get their team ready to go, which gives him a little bit of an advantage, and more power to him. You could tell by the way that kid plays. He's a good leader, and he's a kid that cares a lot. So I would imagine Cruces should be pretty good. They have a lot of holes to fill because they graduate some good players too, but they always do a good job getting their guys ready to play. So I would think they're going to be pretty good. Carlsbad's always super talented, super big and super talented. And it seems like one year they'll graduate a bunch of big, strong kids, and then they just have new ones just pop right into place that are just as big and just as fast. You see those guys in track, and they just got so many fast kids. So I would imagine that Carlsbad will be real strong. I think Hobbs could be a lot better than last year. Hobbs, I think their record, they may have won 2 or 3 games with the new coach that started out in the summer. But they were young. They played a lot of younger kids last year, and they gave a lot of the teams in the district some good games. I think we were only beating them by 7 at halftime, and we ended up beating them by a good, comfortable margin. But they were tough, and they're a year older. A lot of kids returning, so I would expect I think they had 2 quarterbacks that were underclassmen that played last year, so they should be all right. Gadsden is working, and Coach Fascio's got his thing going there, and they seem every year to get a little bit better. So I'd imagine they're going to be tough. And then Onyate, I think, is going to get better. Onyate had a freshman team that was really solid last year. I think they beat. I think they lost to some teams, but then they beat them. So they were probably the top freshman team in the city. And I know that their 8th grade class is coming in to be freshmen. They have a lot of kids there. So there's no reason Onyate's not going to be pretty good coming up in the next few years. So it should provide for a good. I'm not missing any, but no, yeah, we're the other team. So it should provide a good competitive district as always. Coaches are real good, so it should be fun nights.
And looking at the rest of your schedule, so you guys got 5 district games. Is there anybody new on the schedule this coming season, or is it similar to last year?
You know
Non-district.
what's interesting? Yeah, we started a New Year block, but we ended up getting a lot of the same teams that we played. We're playing Sandia again. We're playing West Mesa again. We're playing Atrisco Heritage, which we haven't played. We played them my first 2 seasons at Centennial, and Atrisco at the time was pretty good, and we were just starting up, so they were hammering us. But we haven't played them since I think the 2013 season. And then we open with Cleveland, and then we play Mayfield. So we've got some challenging games on the agenda there, but it's exciting. It makes you really have to work to get ready for the season.
Yeah, Atrisco's got the new head coach. Like, you mentioned Atrisco, they have the new head coach. West Mesa's, they're in the second year of their head coach. Sandia, Addict's coming back. Cleveland, state champs, Mayfield. Yeah, that's a pretty tough schedule heading into even a tougher district slate. I mean, it's a good variation of games throughout the board, especially for a team like you guys coming back and needing to replace some key players. Your class. I mean, what do you think about the classification now that we're in the new 2-year block? You got your Clevelands, you got your Rio Ranchos that are going to be in the top, but how do you feel the class is now with the new 19 teams?
I don't know. I mean, it's just tough in New Mexico because we're so we don't have a big population. We don't have a lot of schools, so it ends up that a school like ours, which we're probably around 1,600 kids, maybe 1,650 kids. We're in a or we're in the same classification as Rio Rancho and Cleveland that have almost 1,000 more kids than us.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of unique that we were slated to play those teams, and we've been competitive with those teams in the past. So it shows a lot for our kids, and I think Cruces has an enrollment that's a little bit higher than ours. Mayfield's enrollment's lower than ours, and they're obviously going down to 5A. But it just, if we were in Texas, we'd be 5A Division II. We'd be 2 classifications below a team like Cleveland. Or in Arizona, the same thing. We'd be a much lower classification. But it is what it is, and the good thing about it is it makes us, play our best ball. We've got to develop our kids real well. Our kids have to work extremely hard to play at that high level, but it does give our kids a chance to be at the highest level, and that's what we want down here in Las Cruces. We get to play Cleveland, who I think, gosh, I've just been following Twitter. It seems like they have 6 or 7 kids that have offers right now at various levels of playing college football. So it's opportunity for our kids to play against those kids and be seen too. So all in all, it's pretty good.
Yes. And so have you guys, I know you talked a little bit about it, but have you guys been able to do anything Zoom-wise with your players, even meetings or things like that? Or
Yeah, what we were doing is we had a workout set up for them to do that didn't need weights. And if they had weights, we also had a workout shared with them to do if they had weights. Now it's just not the same as doing it all together with everybody there and the motivation you get. But we would, during our class time, we would do Zoom workouts where we would do part of the workout all together. And that was nice, being that all the players got to see each other working out. And it was nice that us coaches, in between sets, we got to talk to the players and kind of ask them what they were doing and how things were going and everything like that. But like I said before, we weren't able to do any football, no football practice. And we don't know how hard they were doing everything. I mean, obviously a kid can send a video of his workout for that day, but it's not the same as seeing the kid actually do it and their teammates actually seeing each other do it. So we did the best we could with what we had, and it was just quite a challenge just because you weren't together. And I think some kids probably got more out of it than other kids, but excited to get back to working with our kids on the 22nd and getting there to do something, and hopefully things fall the right way where we can keep adding to the things that we can do and move up in phases to where we can start the season.
And I guess the last question I'll have is there any mantra going into the new season, any saying, the kind of feeling for what's 2020 going to be for the Hawks? I know some teams have
Well,
things to go into.
yeah, that's something I usually leave to our seniors, and our seniors, we have a small senior class. I think we've got 13 seniors in our senior class. And they came up with anticipate, devastate, dominate. So they're a good group of kids. It's real tight together, and I expect them to play hard for each other and push through this time that's really been challenging for us.
And we guys, I know I really like what you guys did last year. I saw, I believe it was a video of it when you guys, and granted the situation right now, you guys, I think you guys climb up. It's called the Rock, or you guys take rocks up. Um, I saw a quick. I always wanted to ask you the question about that. Was how that takes place. What do you guys get out of it? What are you guys doing through it? That I think you guys take like a long hike in the morning, early morning.
Yeah, that's our rock challenge. It's I guess it's a hike, it's a fitness challenge, it's a mental challenge. What we do is we get up real early on the morning toward the end of our summer, and we all the players hike, um, carrying a rock that they choose to the top of a mountain right near our school. And what it is it's almost kind of like a military hike. There's a bunch of different challenges that we do along with it. um, and it's a camaraderie, it's a team building, it's a it you know it's growing in brotherhood through shared adversity that we have. And it's about a 4-hour event, but I think it's something our players don't really like to do, but at the same time they look forward to the challenge and they look forward to what they get out of it. So it's something that is really really good for our kids to do, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it this year.
Nice. Awesome, Coach. That's all I have today for you. I appreciate taking the time to meet with us and give us a little insight on the 2020 Centennial Hawks.
All right, thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.